Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 77, I think.
87?
Whoa!
80s?
Wow.
You're in the
Wow.
wrong dozen.
Wow. Wow. Oh, yeah, 87, because then it's 13 episodes until 100.
Yes.
And okay.
Yes.
I was thinking because...
We're much closer to 100 than that. Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. Well, I was thinking...
Uh-huh.
I couldn't remember seeing anything special to 77, so that's like a lucky number. And I was like, oh, was it 77? Because 87, 86 sounds a little bit too close. But no! We are that close. But nowhere close to the end. Well, of this dungeon or this entire campaign? Well, we'll see.
Neither. Of this room of the dungeon, for God's sake.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah. But here we are. Unfortunately, still 3. However, we might soon get unlifted from this curse. Seems like the winds of fate are changing slightly. For the better.
This is a happy event.
Yes.
Why Felicia is not here. It's a happy reason. So that's definitely better.
Yeah, a up in this long downhill ride we were having, or at least she was having. So yeah, hope for that. Other than that, also the special announcement, which probably anyone who's regularly on this channel will know. A second series has started to be uploaded on this channel. However, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but it's bilingual. It's German and English. So I'm already putting this header out, heavily limiting how many people can actually watch this. But you know, if interested, called Mechanical Outbreak. Even though,
I mean,
yeah,
the translating tool is not terrible.
Oh.
It's not the best, but it's not terrible. It makes it that you can kind of understand what's going on, especially when you add in the English bits.
Oh, I didn't even know
So you can decipher what's happening. It's not the best. I'm warning people, like, don't expect this to be like the best translation ever, but it's watchable. It's watchable for people who don't speak German.
Wow. Yeah. Well, the most important parts are technically in English, which is the roleplay and all of that stuff. So yeah, everything else that kind of gets explained through either, you know, typical D&D mechanic communication or me explaining something, that will be in German. But yeah, I guess if the translation tool works, which I didn't even know that exists, well, we are indeed in the future. You can maybe check it out, or just check out the trailer, because, you know, at least you can get that. A very quote-unquote different style, I would say, to this is what I wanted to say until last session happened, and I was like, no, it's kind of the same. If you watch it, you'll understand what I mean by that. Yeah, kind of also excited to have that launch now, because we have been playing for a while, and I can finally delete the damn files from my hard drive, because they've been just building up and taking away my storage space. So that's actually the biggest thing I'm excited about. All right, now to the more important part, which is this episode, this session. Obviously, anyone who watched the last session will be greatly intrigued what will happen. So we'll just jump off with the question of the day, which is a question I have to ask myself every single day, is which question am I going to ask? That could be a question of the day. No, 8 years is a long time. So, you know, I'm giving Matt a break now, so he doesn't have to think more about something different, so the others can just give their theories of what they believe they're going, or how they think Fiero's gonna change. As players, obviously as characters you don't know that yet, but as players, what do you think? What do you expect? The door has opened, what are you seeing? A mad Fiera, a calm Fiera, a relatively sane Fiera, however way you wish to put it.
Well, I'm Greg, and I'm playing Iric Spanner, the Human Artificer. We do. I can't remember. But we got the quick view of her as she came out the door already. We know she has white hair.
Yes, you saw the door open, but she was still at the pedestal. She didn't like enter or exit the doorway.
She's gonna come out. I think, and I think she's gonna come out with a little bit more, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a little bit more drive, like less critical and less sort of like, oh geez, what the hell's the word?
Thoughtful, pragmatic.
Well, yeah, less sort of
patient.
holy shit. Like she's very a little bit more, for lack of a better description, a little bit more like Iric, coming out a little bit more frantic, a little bit more sort of like, okay, like things are going on, rather than sitting there the way she does, like doing rituals and thinking about things and all that. I think there's going to be a little bit more sort of pep in her step.
Oh, pep in the step. I like to hear that. All right. Well, obviously we are jumping over mats. All the way to Skit.
Yes, I'm Skit, and I play Isorelli Athena, the high elf druid cleric, and Greg pretty much stole what I was gonna say. I was gonna say I'm pretty sure Fiera is gonna come out a little more feeling like Iric, a little more frantic, a little more what's the word?
Oh, not you two. It's the same word.
A little bit more paranoid, a little bit more like, yeah. I feel like she's gonna join Iric a little bit more into his franticness and paranoia of like, we have to like get this done, get out of here. Just I don't like this, but also, I think she's gonna come out of there much, much, much stronger in her belief. Yeah. That's what I think.
Okay. Very interesting. I will also make my prediction since I don't know. I believe it's a lot of time to think. Fiera likes to think. The last bit of information we got is that she was like going into work mode, trying to, figure things out. And she, as per usual, takes this as a test to herself and what she's going to do. So I also think that she is more in tune of what she was believing before. So it's just this time just gave her the time to kind of lay a foundation to her already core beliefs, and then kind of, I don't know, trying to I'm also missing a word now.
See, you too as well.
It's the worst feeling. Yeah, I just think she's gonna be a doubled version of what she was before. Double downing on everything she has done and wants to do with time magic. And that is if she really, either that or she went insane. One of the two. I don't see a other outcome other than those two.
Why not both, though?
Yeah, true. The one could be considered insanity. So yeah. Without further ado, I want to know what happened to Fiera. The players want to know, and I hope the viewers too. So we will go into the intro. And who knows, maybe for when you get level 13, I'll also make an animated intro, like for the other campaign. Wow.
Ooh, I did like their intro.
Oh, or maybe for episode 100. Maybe depending where this goes. Let's see.
He will guide us out of this endless misery, be it pain, sins, penance, or grafting. He knows where one of the roots of Nephasius is, and with them together, we will burn the tree of purgatory, and in its fire, a new age will begin. An age where we do not rely on the light to guide us, but instead, through the blood of our primordial ancestors, we shall escape the curse that has been put onto our kind so long ago. We will not be the victims of this blight any longer, and we will wage the final war needed against those who hold divinity. Those who strive against us are but mere puppets of the divine. We must accept the sacrifice, and we must accept the blood that needs to be spilled. Peace will make us mourn the inevitable deaths of innocent people, and war will make us celebrate the valiant warriors who sacrificed their lives for a higher purpose. Let us not mourn anymore, but instead celebrate for the prosperity of our kind. Stand by me, O so-called sinners. Stand by me, O so-called outcasts. We are bespoken, and we are carved from the very fabric of death and life together. We will not fail, we will prevail. Long live the dark blood, and long live humanity.
That was it. Alright, so a quick recap. After you guys have descended into the dungeon of Merador, after which you have been given the task to try and quell the upsurgence of the suddenly reawoken sentinels of the long-lost dormant dungeon's defenses, as they pose a threat to the Azathia Legion, who is a shadow legion of the Holy Religios, and that would be a problem since they are expecting a full front assault from the Blood Order and other factions. And as you went down, you discovered this very twisted, horror, macabre interior space of the dungeon where these humanoidish shapes, bodies, limbs and stuff were merged in with the wall, coming in and out. And not only that, but walking through it, you discovered kind of similar to a maze or a labyrinth that you had to stumble your way through to get to each of the destinations on the map that was handed to you before you actually entered the dungeon. And it is big. It's one of the biggest takeaways you got. As big as an entire subterranean city that was designed to keep something inside, and anyone from the outside, well, keep them outside. As you triggered traps, encountered sentinels, you managed to get over the ravine, and then managed to also get to the Gravekeeper's Sanctuary, where you met these strange reaper-like figures, these kind of undead gravekeepers who seem to be carrying this weird stake on their back while simultaneously taking care of this branch of Yiglevar that you were carrying with you. And after going up to the Black Bulb Grove, trying to retrieve something you believe is a necessary ingredient for a ritual that you have to do in the Vile Blood Purification Chamber, you encountered these zombified undead plants which seem to be sprouting these bulbs, or maybe the other way around, you aren't quite sure. And fighting them, you discover that they also have already consumed other corpses of Holy Religios and Artisan members inside of them, and were reusing them as zombies to defend against their own undead life. However, with a bit of ingenuity and a lot of tactical maneuvering, you managed to kill 3 of them and retrieve 3 black bulbs, after which you went down, not before passing the Gravekeeper Sanctuary and seeing something very odd. This weird staff that has grown. Kind of a bit unsure what to do, Fiera decided to use a mage hand to take it. And while a short whisper of undead voices seemed to stream through her mind, she managed to retrieve it, though 3 gravekeepers who you were able to see kind of just vanished, or more like the form that was keeping their cloth afloat just disappeared, and they all just fell to the ground. After which you went down to the Vile Blood Purification Chamber, analyzing, strategizing on how about to go on this endeavor. You slowly figured out what to do for the ritual and decided to do exactly that. Israel was the first one. A large pendulum seemed to be cutting through your wrists, slitting the blood out from your bodies, creating this arc that would end up in a blood triangle above the shrine, which then, with the bulbs you have retrieved, where this white essence was stored inside of, which you can't really know what it is, got taken up and basically purified in some way your blood after it dripped down and became this white soupy liquid, which was a different version of your own blood, which you then had to consume. And it seemed like it restored some of your life force, it healed your half cut off hands, and a entrance showed itself after completing the ritual. And so after Israel...
Question.
Yes?
Those hands that were almost cut off, and when we took this, are we still missing our finger?
Yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, yes.
Other question.
Yes.
Is there evidence of the hands being cut?
Yes.
Is there scars or anything? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. It's not a scar like a cut wound, but because the fibers are kind of like intertwining with each other, it's like a zigzaggy line that goes across it. And it looks more like a burn mark than a cut wound. So yeah, but there's scar tissue that is very visible there. And yeah, after Eirik did that, gaining his composure, going through it, and necessity in the goals you have put onto yourself, and of course, a very last, Fiera, who we all know doesn't do things like the usual do, and decided to alter the passage they had to speak, the prayer and or oath that have to swear, which still seem to trigger the ritual process. However, the process took a bit of a shift as she reached the second passage, mentioning specifically 2 different names, replaced 2 names in the oath. Artisan were replaced with Shivaroth, and Metatron replaced with Basileus Valkyrion, 2 names she found on an even more ancient pedestal in hell. Time seemed to suddenly shift and become slower. A lot slower. As the pendulum was now in slow motion, carving through her hands/arms in a unspeakable and agonizing slow pace, which took 8 years from Fiera's perspective to overcome. Though only 1 to 2 minutes passed for Eirik and Isobel, the door reaches itself open, and you can see on the shrine Fiera. And I guess, what do they see?
I mean, the beginning's obvious. They see her just finishing drinking from the bowl. But now that she's finished, she stays there for a few moments before, I think they both have insane passive perception, or at least 15 or higher. No?
13.
Mine's a 17.
Well, they hear a whisper, and a very familiar light glows from her drift globe. And they see her kind of awestruck, probably similar to them, before very slowly she puts a hand down and very, very slowly starts to get up. And after maybe 15 seconds before she's finally on both feet, just very quietly grabs something out of her satchel. It's a cloth. Puts it around her eyes and ears a couple times over. Ties it. And then begins walking toward them.
I'm grabbing Isorel.
Yeah, I'm
It's a
grabbing
slow
Eirik.
walk. It's like somebody who is learning to walk for the first time in a long time. But she heads toward where her friends are at. Slowly.
Fiera?
I stop. Freeze. And just wait.
We really have to go.
My hands rapidly go up to my ears as she's talking.
What the fuck is happening?
The hell?
Flares. And I put my hand up. Claire's.
Can you just repeat that? What did you say?
Laris.
Oh, okay.
A word I don't think either of you would know.
No.
And then as
What?
they stop talking, I'll kind of make my way to a wall. And then, once I find it, sit down.
Can you come through the door, please?
I would have continued through the door.
Okay, and stopped
Right.
after,
Yes.
right after
Yes.
you've gone through the door.
Yep.
Okay.
Right when I get in the hallway, find the wall, and sit.
And the doorway
I-
shuts.
I'm going to slowly approach Fiera and just kneel down next to her and take both of her hands.
The second you touch me, I freeze.
It's
I'll-
okay.
I'll try again, but slower. And then in a whisper, I'll say, "You're safe."
I
What
cock my
happened?
head.
What happened?
Expecto. Expecto. And they don't know that language that I told you about, Jack, right? What it might sound like. Okay.
I'm gonna make a history check, both of you, Eirik and Isoel.
Oh boy.
Nope.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
no. What?
Does she know her name? Like, what? We need to get her to say things that we understand here.
As Irik's talking, I'm kind of like wincing.
It seems like, and I'm speaking very hush hush. It seems like things may not have gone the same for her.
No kidding.
I'm gonna
Physically-
take the time. I'm gonna take the time to really observe Fiera, and hopefully at the same time try to do like kind of a medicine check to see if she seems injured or hurt in any way. You know, like basically right now, Iserel thinks something physical may have gone on with Fiera, so she's trying to take a good look over to see like is she fine, like what are the differences, like, and she's basically trying to look for injuries that may not have healed the way they should have or something like that.
Yeah, you can make a medicine check.
Okay. I am looking at her.
Well, at the first glance, you can very obviously say she doesn't have any physical ailments afflicting her at the moment, and also nothing like poisonous or toxins or anything like that. She seems to be completely fine, in fact, which worries you.
And I'm doing this whole thing like very, very slowly. You know, when I'm looking at something, like I very slowly touch her and, you know, just to make her feel like she's, because I saw like the way that I came and took her hands, like jerked her. So I'm just going I'm very like precise with my movement and very light and just not touching her overly as well, but also kind of watching her reaction to that.
Yeah, I think one thing you would definitely notice is just in general hypersensitivity to literally everything. So even if you get close before even touching her, you can see her, any body part you go to move away from you. It's as if the little bit of body heat you're radiating, she's able to pick up on. So you gather that there's a sort of, you know, what's it called? If you injure a specific part of your body, it just reacts more differently than the other parts because your entire body is like trying to preserve that specific part. So it reacts faster, quicker, and more sensitive to just exposure to anything. And the same thing appears to be happening with her entire body and not just, you know, a wound. It's as if she is the wound, but nothing physically is afflicting her. So it's a very easy, you know, jump to then conclude that's like, okay, something, you know, psychologically or mentally is definitely going on here if it's very obviously nothing physical.
I'll open my satchel, fiddle around, take one of my little pouches, take a pinch of diamond dust, and in front of Fiera, I'm just going to and cast Greater Restoration on her to see if that helps.
Wow. Actually,
Yeah, I'm going there. Iserel is freaking out with what's going on. She knows there's a lot of like crazy things that are going around. So she's not taking any chances. She's like, I don't want any curse following us. I don't want any of those. So, 1 exhaustion level if you had one. Charmed or petrified condition. A curse, including the attunement to a cursed magic item. Any reduction to ability scores, or any reduction to your hit point maximum.
I would probably say I've seen Azrael cast this, right? In the past?
Yeah, it's my second time casting it.
Okay. So as you kind of hold in your hand and are beginning to like blow, almost like quicker than you've probably seen her move before, my hand goes right to your wrist, right as you're about to cast it. And I just say, expecto. Expecto. And then I'm gonna put your hands together so you keep holding that diamond dust. And then I just take my hands back and just keep sitting, breathing. Yeah, I would like to stop her as I've recognized that before.
Yeah, I can definitely do that.
What the hell is happening? So
The little ghostie's going. I got a lot to write.
did
Are you like
she?
pacing around, Irik? Or are you standing?
Well, kind of standing, like just looking backwards, looking forwards, looking at you, just like I don't know what to do.
Every so often when you kind of move around and shift, because you have a lot of stuff on your person, when there's like a jingle, you kind of see just a very small like recognition in Vera as she looks toward it with the cloth still on, but she can still hear it.
Wait, so she knew you were about to cast a spell even though she's got her eyes closed. She's hypersensitive to everything that's going on. We were told not to go near the walls and everything because of the weird psychic mental
Mm-hmm.
hallucinations and everything. We
But
need
it
something
only
to
it only took the same time that it did for you. Like, there's absolutely no difference in time, so she didn't have the time to go like fiddle with the walls and get all psychically crazy because of those walls. So I
Did-
don't get it.
Did she... God, we need something to snap her back to at least acknowledge she knows what we're, like, who we are. Like, what's going... Like, she said 2 words so far.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna try something real fast, and I'll come near Fiera's hands again and kind of put my hands around her hands, and I'll say, if you recognize us, try to push my hands away.
Takes like a big sigh. Azrael,
Okay.
Irik.
Okay. Okay. You hear like the biggest sigh of relief out of Isarel. Like, you just almost it was almost the same relief as when she learned that her dad was gonna make it through the attack. I'm gonna get back.
Does she know who she is?
I'm gonna walk back, actually. Leave some space to Fiera. And I think I think something went wrong. And I'm definitely trying to make sure my voice doesn't like boom or like is loud or anything. Like I'm definitely speaking lower than usual. I'll say, yeah, I think something went wrong with her in her trial.
Did she switch with another existence of Fiera?
I'm wondering
Did
if
Top Hat Man?
I'm actually wondering if she maybe have gone through the finger thing. If that was calling to her a lot while we were in there. And I'm wondering if she did that one instead.
I mean, it still opened the same door.
Mm-hmm. But she
We
also
kind of
has
assumed that there was another door in here.
true, but she also has much more divine blood than us. Just because of the stuff that has gone on in hell. So I don't know, maybe she knew something that we didn't. You know Fiera, she has a lot of secrets and
That's the
she
scary
shares
thing.
I know, she shares a bunch with us, but she doesn't share everything. Like I don't share everything either. So maybe she knew something that we didn't and she knew and she had to do that one or she wanted to do that one.
Did she tell us a different oath? Did she translate the oath differently? Did she tell us to say something and then it's actually not what the actual oath is and she read it the right way? Was she trying to protect us from something?
Or it's Fiera and she takes everything as a challenge and she made changes on the fly. There's
As
too
When
many
we were
cons.
that, you kind of hear quietly, I haven't spoken this in a while. I'm remembering now.
What happened, Fiera?
Like you said, a challenge.
Oh.
And I kind of slowly start taking it off and kind of wince as my eyes start adjusting to the light. Take deep breaths. You two look the same.
It's been 10 minutes. I did not scare myself with my candy.
You don't look the same.
Mm-mm. Mm.
You're not far off.
I'm gonna pull out a mirror from my bag of holding and just hold it up to her.
You can hear Isarel like sighing in pain, like why would you do that to her?
Yeah, she doesn't react too much from it. Physically, I should recover just fine. I made a challenge. I'm not the Fiera you knew. But I was, or am. Always have been. I had a trial. unlike either of you went through.
Did
Seems I
you
made it out.
did you what? There was nothing else in there. What did you do?
Arsasen is not Poefala, nor Metatron. They're both angels. Children. I went beyond that. And I made my oath to the creators. And they saw me.
Did you speak to them?
I think so.
Are they controlling you now?
As much as any other parent controls their child.
You're basically you, but
I
older?
changed.
Oh,
I took one step toward what they want us to become. Like them. And it was a very hard step. I'm still taking it. I think I'm actually still in that room. But I'm also here.
sorry.
What?
That was not ISRL confusion. That was skid confusion.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
laughing
my-
because of your face.
My brain just shut down right there, and I was like, "Huh?"
Hey, I'm confused. What's going on?
Do you at least remember anything that happened before your trial?
More so now than I did before. I know where we are. I know what we were doing. It's because it's still happening. I just need time to adjust.
Yeah, we have loads of that right now.
We do.
No, that's not. Oh, that's not what I meant. Does Fiera still have her locket or like her religious symbols and everything with her?
Mhm.
So it's not like she gave it up for anything, or
Not like she traveled somewhere either and dropped it off.
I mean, I was thinking she. What if something else got put in the bowl? But doesn't matter. You've got it's all here.
Don't give me any ideas.
We're not going back in, so you're not going to be doing
Oh
that.
no! We're not going backwards. We have to keep going forward. Anyways, we can't go back. the door's locked from the inside, and we don't have the key.
When we were standing in the hall waiting for her in those minute or two, did we hear any sounds or anything that was coming out of that room?
Nope. Nothing at all.
Well, at least you still know who you are and you know who we are. You know where we are.
Yeah.
And you know what we're supposed to be doing. Right?
Yes, we're on a path.
To...
On the lesser side of things, we need to... I need to help you both get to Melidor.
And...
and uncover the truth of that part of everything.
And what do we not do? We don't release anyone from their cage. We keep it in. Locked away. Dangerous. End of times dangerous.
Nothing's that dangerous.
Can I insight check to see if she's actually registering what we're saying, or is she just like a computer that is like saying words in response to us?
Spitting words.
Sure, you coming inside check and well, yeah, you can decide on depending how.
I don't even know what check that would be.
Doesn't matter.
I'll see how they roll. They roll high enough, I'll give them something.
Yeah, that's a 5. So
Eric's pretty much
Almost
on.
had almost
Regardless.
had a 15, but I'm just like looking at her like
Squinting.
I mean, yeah, the minimum I can give you is that her thinking face is different. The facial expressions are different. They aren't like they used to be.
Oh,
But
they're
she is
more
still
wrinkly.
thinking. Only on the inside.
I'm gonna whisper to Isorel just in her ear. She's had some kind of divine intervention.
She is definitely speaking in riddles, which I'm not sure if I like. Let's we need to keep going. We can't stop now. We really need to get going.
Yeah. I reach my hand out to Fiera.
Yeah, I'll take it. She has a hard time getting up, but like a person learning to walk again. Thank you.
So- How long were you in front of that altar, just sitting there?
How long did you wait?
Was a few minutes?
That was a few minutes. But during those few minutes, a door was opened.
You got to explain a little bit more here. Physical door or mental door?
Do you think the creators think like we do? Like you do?
I don't think I think the way I thought yesterday, for God's sakes.
Well, they've been along for a long time, and they see more than us. They understand more than us. And I think the more you understand, the more you can do with time. My understanding was pushed to the limit. So for me, time didn't really exist. I just was. And I had a long time to comprehend what was happening.
Did you purposely try to alter time at a divine ritual?
I invited it. I asked Shivaroth and what I think is their twin for a true challenge of faith. And I think they gave me an opportunity to step into their shoes. I was told that Shivaroth is omniscient. I'm only now just beginning to understand what that actually means.
These words that Fear is saying, Claris expecto Shivaroth, can I try to remember back to when we were in hell and I went floating up or flying up to read the carvings and stuff on the wall? Can I try to remember if any of these words were things that she saw?
Yeah, can we use the check? $23. Yeah. None of those words she has just said were things you read on that mural.
I probably see Ira going lost into 1,000-yard stare. It's a lot, Eirik. I've had time to let it sink in. We can talk about it later.
You forgot.
Just know that I feel like I'm more than I was before I stepped in there. One step closer to my goal.
I have no reason to believe you, but I also have no reason to not believe you right now. Can we get out of the tunnel?
Of course.
We really have to go. I don't want to rush you, like, at all. But we really need to go.
Right.
Okay. So slowly but surely, you start walking down this long hallway. And during this time, Fiera, you kind of, slightly adjust back to feeling yourself physically, putting one step after the other. Feeling one thing that now you understand is a essential component of existing and not just being, I guess. There's a difference. You understand now that the effects of spatial awareness moving within it opens up an entirely different dimension which you haven't experienced yet. You have experienced one part of it. And the other one, the gravity that is pushing you down. These completely omniscient forces, two of them, which you were deprived of. And that's where you now, by walking down this hallway, understand the forces that are kind of weighing onto you now, even heavier than forgetting how to walk, even heavier than not feeling or hearing or tasting or any of that. It's that now you have choices again. It's now you can move backwards, forwards, to the side, up or down, and 3, wherever you are being pulled by physical objects close and far away to you. And these are things you would never stop to think about when you just exist. And I think that's where a second spark of almost like enlightenment opens up in your mind as you comprehend that you have only seen a fraction of an infinite power that exists more than once, while you are just walking down a hallway with your friends, which you have almost forgotten. However, this hallway you're all stepping down takes a while, and that is because it is 5 miles long.
Holy shit.
You walk for about 15 times 5, like up to like I think 3 hours is accurate to say.
5 miles. I mean, yeah.
So I reckon, Isa, you're starting to think you're going crazy because you're walking for several hours down a hallway that looks the same. While Fiera,
I don't notice.
you have peace of mind. Once you arrive here, you're like, oh, this fast already? While I reckon I feel like coming to.
Oh, I still have my Heelys, so I like every now and then I just
So
roll.
It would actually, depending on how slow Fiera walks or how quick we walk, the average walking speed is about 3 miles an hour.
Oh, it's 3 miles an hour?
Yeah, between 2.5 and 4 miles per hour. Walking
sounds about
speed
right,
can
actually.
vary by age, fitness level, terrain, and carry load.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you know what? Then I will
Yeah.
retract that. Let's say it's 1.5 hours.
Okay.
That's still a long tunnel.
It's still a long tunnel. It's still a very, very long tunnel. Like, don't get me wrong. It's still a freaking long time.
Yeah, because for some reason I was thinking 1 mile was like an hour, but 1 mile was like 15 minutes. Or 20 minutes, something like that. Yes. Then luckily cut her in half. Still probably feels similar. But as you finally arrive, what seems to be an opening, you kind of make your way through, and the hallway literally doesn't change except for, you know, the weird dysmorphing bodies, but even they seem to become so common that you aren't even aware of them anymore, and everything is so monotone. Like driving through the endless landscape of the Great Canadian Expanse and just seeing trees to the side, and nothing else.
Just drive through Saskatchewan, and it's just fields.
Yep.
Fields everywhere. You just drive through, and all you see is fields.
So
That's it.
you can definitely relate to this experience. And as the opening gladly greets you, and you even more gleefully accept it, as it's now suddenly a change in anything, and as you step there, the first thing you notice is it opens up, and your dark vision doesn't quite get to the edge of how far it opens up to, similar to the ravine, and especially with the kind of somewhat edged light of the drift glow that's kind of following behind you all. You see, however, that the pathway, the walls disappear, and instead it seems to be turning into a bridge, as it almost looks like you come out of this room, out of a wall that just leads into basically a bridge. Right and left, no walls, nothing. It just goes down. As you step onto it, you can see it, and as you look to the left and to the right, it seems to be a black pit, similar to when you were at the ravine. And you kind of slowly approach and step onto the bridge, first to obviously see if it can hold you, but it seems quite solid. It seems to be rather thick as you look down the side. But as you look to the right and left to you, indeed, it looks like you just came out of a wall. But the wall, similar to the other walls, are just covered in these twisting body shapes and limbs. But a different thing you can see, that in different levels there seem to be like large seams that go through, like it kind of horizontally cuts the wall, almost like there have been two slices that have been placed together. And you can definitely see that there's a difference there. But as you make your way slightly over the bridge and you dare yourself to kind of tread a little bit further, you start to see the other end, which is a circular shaped structure, almost like a large pillar, it seems like. Its walls are similarly carved, or rather said made out of the kind of twisted human bodies as well. And it as well, on the same height as the wall behind you, is kind of dissected with the seam and kind of cuts through it. And as you get about halfway through to the bridge, you can very clearly notice it's like this pillar-shaped structure in the middle where the stairs are leading to is made out of several slices that have been kind of placed on top of each other. It's like a cake, if you so will, that kind of breaks off into different layers that have been stacked on top of each other, but the exterior of every layer seems to be the same. You can see these humanoid bodies, but the main difference from the other ones you've seen in the other halls are that, usually you see an elbow that comes jutting off, or a foot or stuff like that. Here, however, you can see the torsos with arms and heads attached to them coming out, and they all kind of are arching their back, and the only difference between each body that you see here is that some of them are either praying with both hands together, or holding their face or the back of the head, closing their eyes, and they seem to be either in pain, agony, despair, hopeful, cheerful, praying, or resentful, as they cover and twist around. As you get closer, you can see that some of the bodies have aligned themselves in such a way that they form a staircase that seems to be leading up to the pillar.
We're just gonna climb the body stairs.
And this seems like it's the only path to go.
For now, yes. Left and right from you don't see much. The wall behind you seems to be curved, similar to, or like in a similar degree as the pillar in front of you, meaning whatever room you're inside of seems to be circular. And the structure that you assume is in the middle of this room is also circular, if that makes sense.
Can I see if there's any evidence of like mechanisms or mechanical elements here? Like, has it been built, or is this another case of it's been like literally carved out of the rock?
Can make a perception check. $21. Yes, looking at it, these very evident sections of layers heavily suggest that this must be a structure. Since, you know, it has been deliberately placed on top of each other. And you very much so assume that it probably functions in a similar way as the room you just came from. Suggesting it's like, you know, you stay in the same dungeon, stuff like that, so they'll probably use similar mechanics, though you don't fully understand how the mechanical device in the last room works, similar to here, but you get the sense that this pillar and maybe even the entire wall behind you all can rotate to some degree. And the reason how you pick up on that is that all of the bodies that kind of, you know, mangle up and create this thing, there seems to be more of a pattern going on here rather than the random spread around, suggesting that if you turn them in the right direction, it actually forms the staircase. And if you turn it indifferent, it might turn to in a staircase somewhere else and stuff like that. And none of them overlap, where if they would, you know, go against each other, it would break off. So there's deliberation in the design and placement of these things where you're like, okay, each slab, each layer still seems as immaculate and one piece as the walls, suggesting it was carved this way. But the thing as an entirety, you assume there are different parts of it which have to be separately created.
Okay, well, it's another case of I don't want anything to activate and separate us from each other.
Mm-hmm. And if we're looking at the map that we have, it looks like we have two choices. We want to either go to the Effigy of the Dark Light and further away from our objective, or sorry, I was mixing French there, or the Deathward Mortuary, which is where we're trying to get closer to the chambers.
That's all to assume this actually is the pillar and we haven't been sent to somewhere else not on this map.
We have to assume right now that this is where we're going. We can't just start thinking of all the other possibilities that we have, at least not until we make sure that where we are going. And I mean, there's a pillar.
Yeah.
There were gravekeepers earlier in the gravekeeper sanctuary, so I feel like the rooms are very like on the nose.
Yeah.
That's my feeling. You know, it's just, I'm not saying you're stupid. I'm just thinking that we're
okay.
No, I am thinking that we are reading way too far into it, and it's much simpler than that.
Welcome to my life, all right?
I just honestly think that, yeah, it's
Well, we have to climb it. We're gonna climb it.
We
Just
we
hope
just have
nothing
to.
grabs us.
Yeah, and we have to. But the thing is there a way to know which one we'll be going to? I'm gonna start looking around the walls and the room to try to see if there's any type of indication of how this room would work, kind of like the last one where you had like murals and stuff that sort of explained what was going on so that we could decipher it. So I'm gonna try to start looking for that in this room too.
Yeah, make a perception check.
Not good.
You're standing still in the middle of a bridge where everything is super dark and you can barely see the edges of things. However, you're pretty confident that at least within your vicinity, there seems to be only two ways. Either you go back to the hallway you came from, or you take these weird stairs that seem to be leading up this pillar. Nothing within your visual range suggests that there's something else to do. You don't see any murals. Everything is covered in, the weird bodies coming out of the wall. That's kind of about it. Well, of course, the obvious third option is to just drop down the bridge, or the not so obvious fourth option to fly up. These are kind of the only options that you see here.
Alright, it seems like we will have to go up, and we may have the choice after that. Once we're up there.
I mean, I can activate the boots and fly up for a little bit and see if anything changes.
I would keep them.
Well, for what I remember, there are defenses here. We need to keep an eye out for them, or other denizens.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it would be okay if we went to the Effigy. Roderick might be there.
Either we die in this dungeon, or we follow the easiest path forward.
I mean, there's a one way forward, right? So let's just keep going for now, and we'll see if there's anything that indicates that we need to take another direction.
Okay.
I don't think that most people that went through this dungeon at first were of flying
Damn.
I can't say the word.
Capability.
Yeah, like capability. I don't think they could fly necessarily. It was made. This place was definitely made to be walked in. So, sure, there's always the option to fly up, but I don't think it's going to create any sort of shortcut or anything.
Okay, well, I can go first. And I'll start heading toward the creepy staircase.
Yep. You walk towards it.
I'm gonna be on her tail. Like, I'm not leaving her out of my sight. Like, the minute she just starts walking, I'm like, wait.
Mm-hmm. Walling behind.
And I'm constantly like turning backwards, like, what the fuck is?
Yes. And as you step on it, you see most of the staircase that's been made is like either the back, head, or hands that are being held up by these bodies that come out of the wall. And at first you're like, very cautious of your step because it's such an uneven surface, right? It's just these weird mangled up bodies. But as you're walking, they seem to be, very precisely measured out, and it feels like you're walking on a normal staircase. With every step you take is a solid foothold that you have as you're kind of slowly climbing up. After getting about 10 feet up the staircase, you all suddenly hear a as while you're walking, the entire pillar you can see starts turning in different directions as each layer kind of separately turns. However,
Holding on to both of my friends.
Wherever you are on the pillar, that it still seems stable enough to walk, and the way ahead of you always aligns that you can keep going on further. However, it turns, and as it's turning, you can see that the bridge that you just came from starts to also retract back inside.
This is some Harry Potter Hogwarts shit where we're walking and the thing is just moving with us and sending us in a different direction.
Yep, and you slowly move your way up, kind of stumbling and hoping that you don't fall down. However, it's still rather smooth despite the somewhat odd vibrations that come just from these heavy pillars moving against each other. And you walk your way up, and it doesn't take too long. You maybe have to walk like 90 feet up stairs, and as you kind of arrive to the top, it kind of gets still and shuts back into place. And as you get to the top, you can see that it's a very smooth quote-unquote ceiling, and you can see now more of the rounded nature of the pillar. It's has a diameter of about 60 feet, so your dark vision kind of does reach the other ends. And the first thing you see is that on kind of the left side, 90 degrees going up, is a somewhat floating staircase. Floating as in you don't see any obvious structures that are holding it up, that seem to be leading somewhere up. You aren't quite sure where. Though you can see a large angelic statue on the very end. You can only barely see the hands and wings on the sides of it, that is holding some of the stairs up from at where it kind of goes into the wall. However, in the center of this pillar, you can see a very large bowl that just sits there. And that's kind of it. Seems to be made out of gold, similar to the holy symbol you saw. But there seem to be no shrine or any weird pillars that go above it. It's just a bowl, and that's it. You just have this on the surface of this pillar. You can see down the sides, the different layers, the staircase that you just went up, and the bowl, and the staircase that leads to upstairs, I guess.
How far from us is the bowl?
It's in the middle, so 30 feet.
I'm going to slowly approach the bowl.
Right.
I'm not gonna touch it or anything, but I'm going to look at it and try to see if I can see some writing around it, or if I see any traces of something inside it. Kind of looking around. Just some give myself an idea of what this thing is.
Yeah. As you kind of approach it slowly and look around, it's a rather large bowl. It has a diameter of 5 feet, so you could bathe in it if you wanted to. It is fairly flat, so it's not like a super curved bowl. It's kind of more like, Jesus Christ, like a shell. It has a very, shadow curve to it. However, you can see as you kind of walk closer that in front of it, kind of where the stairs lead down to, if you would, go down the stairs and just directly approach the bowl, right in front of it, there's a plaque inside of the ground itself, also made out of gold, and there is something written on it. However, as with the other stuff, you don't seem to be able to read whatever language has been inscribed on it.
I'll signal the others to come over.
Yeah.
Fiera,
take a
by
look.
any chance, yeah? Do you read this language? I would like to help, but unfortunately, it seems to escape my knowledge.
Take a peek.
Yep, you go there, you recognize the language, it's the same as you've seen before, and it says, "Prove thine purity, and thine sin shall be witnessed. Offer thine impurity, and thine road shall lead to purification."
Offer thy purity.
I'll just copy and paste it into the chat, makes it easier. Assistant, if you could please do that for me. Thank you very much.
Proof, okay. And then sin shall be with impurity. Prove it.
We've
I guess
been purified.
We have atoned when we were in hell. However, since we've came back, we have technically sinned.
Yes, but then the thing we just did was a purification chamber, so we've been re-purified.
Not quite
We were-
purification.
Yeah, we were purified, we were not atoned.
Can
There
I
is a,
examine the bowl? See if there's any leftover anything in it.
Yeah, give me an investigation check.
um,
16.
16.
Looking at it, you can see that it's surprisingly thin. To a point where you can see the edges are like super sharp. The edges of the bowl. Sharp to the point where you feel like you could easily cut yourself there. However, it seems very, very smooth, but you can also see that there are like many wings that kind of go in, like a tree's life that just has many wings that go into the circle. Almost like, have you ever seen like a Chinese gong that also is kind of made out of multiple layers? It seems to be like that. There are like thousands of layers have been kind of produced to make this bowl. But you don't, within the bowl and on the bowl itself, it seems to be like squeaky clean. To a unnatural degree, you would expect at least some dust on it, but nope. And it's made out of gold.
Interesting.
Another question: would you touch it as part of your investigation?
I was about to say something like that. I was about to say Isorel would also look at it, and seeing how sharp it is would probably just kind of, when you're testing the sharpness of a knife and you're just kind of like scratching, you're not like trying to cut yourself, but you're just like testing the sharpness. She would probably do that with the side of the bowl and see a little bit how sharp it is.
Okay, make a sleight of hand check.
Oh boy. +1.
Let's go.
Hey, I
7.
cut myself.
Wow, you go like super close, and you're going very carefully, but as soon as you just touch it, you don't feel it. You just start seeing blood trickle down your thumb as you literally.
Oh boy.
It's so sharp. It just went through your thumb before you realized it was even touching you. It's so sharp, and after a brief moment, as you see the blood and your brain registered it was cut. That's when you start feeling the pain and you take it back. And as the blood starts trickling down each of these separate layers and down the bowl into the middle, it doesn't like how's it called, accumulate and kind of stuff up like it usually does if it just runs down a normal surface. It kind of collects itself and sticks to the surface. It's more like if you put water on a hot surface where it kind of stays afloat and just sizzles on it. And there's a similar thing where it stays intact. It stays this droplet and moves down, and as it's moving down, you can hear this weird noise, as if something's like resonating. You know when you whistle and there's like a sheet of metal that's kind of making or has the same resonance as whatever you're whistling, and the blood as it's like going down is causing this bowl to vibrate, and as it's vibrating it's making a very similar eerie whistling sound that starts to emanate throughout the entire room as it kind of just drops into the middle, and as it's in the middle it's just dancing around.
While it's doing that, I'm just gonna look at Eirik and Fiera and be like, see, that's what you had to do. I figured it out.
That makes sense.
And
well done.
You just kind of for a moment listen to this abstract song of blood dancing on a golden bowl until it kind of, and you, as you look at it closer, especially you, Eirik, as your perception is quite good, it starts to become less, but you don't see where the traces of blood is going to. It just becomes smaller and smaller and smaller, and with that the song that is kind of being created starts to fade with it. And after about good 2 minutes or so of this weird song echoing through this entire chamber, and it gets pretty loud, there's silence, after which you hear once again and the layers start moving once again. And this time as you're looking around, you can see that a bridge starts to come out from one of the walls. I can't really say a direction since you're turning around, so it's in front of you, and then it's to the left, behind, and to the right of you. However, as you're turning as well, you can see a second bridge lead out from a different side that seems to be a little bit lower than where the other one is. And as everything is kind of puts back into place, you can see that facing somewhat to the what would be west is a bridge that is on the same level as you, and then kind of to the south there's another bridge. However, it seems to be like a couple of layers down, even further down than where you initially came from. And then there's still the staircase that leads to the top of this bridge that seemed to have been stationary and didn't change at all.
Oh, man.
Okay. What's
So
next?
shall be next.
Do you guys need to do it as well? Is this the same thing as before, where we all need to do it and hope we'll all end up in the same place?
I don't think so. Mm,
I mean, we won't know until
sure.
presumably you go and step on one of those stairways or bridges or whatever. It was your blood. You need to make the first move before we see what happens.
The two new options came up, a path that kind of leads upward and one downward. Is that right?
Well, no, the bridges seem to be leveled, but on the I would just separate the pillar in like 10 layers of a cake. You are on the very first layer,
Okay.
and the first bridge leads from the first layer, so you can just walk on it away, and the other one seems to be about like on layer 8 down below, and the bridge you came from seemed to have been like in the middle, so like well, not in the middle, actually a little bit higher, like layer 3. So 1, 3, and then 8, while the staircase remained stationary and was the only thing that wasn't turning.
Yeah, see, my worry is that these staircases or these bridges are going to change, and we're not going to be able to go on the same one as each other. Like I said, Icerel has to make the first move. This was her blood, so we have to at least wait and see. It clearly knows how to track us.
But where am I supposed to go, though?
Well, I don't know. We just have to make a choice. We don't. There's nothing telling us. There's no sign or anything.
I
We just have to
definitely
go.
want to get. I definitely want to get towards the next step that we want to get to, which is the mortuary. More that word.
Mm-hmm.
I can't English today. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on.
The thing about the effigy of the dark light is that fire that they told us about. So we can assume that that's where things might be safe, or there might be something beneficial or something or other.
Right. Something to help us get to the finish line.
And what level is that on? Right.
That's what I'm saying.
I just have to hope that I find it.
I would assume it's not the stairs, but it's really hard to tell.
You have to think that the mortuary, the gate, and then the chamber and all that we have to go to is going to be lower and lower and lower. We've been going lower for the most part this whole time.
If we go logically, yes. But now that everything has shifted, how low? You know? I don't even know north, south, east, west anymore. I'm utterly lost.
The only other thing is, the second part of this is offer thy impurity, and then road shall lead to purification, which is where we came from. Which means there's another entrance here, especially according to the map. So do the stairs... So the stairs probably lead back to the ravine. Or the Gravekeeper Sanctuary. So it's one of the new paths that opened up that we need to go.
And I can't... Oh my goodness.
Is there any indication of a flame, a candle, anything on either of these like bridges that opened up that just appeared?
You can make an investigation check.
I think that would...
Can I help since I've already been talking about the dark light?
Sure. Can make it with advantage. No.
Sure.
25 is already pretty high.
Oh.
Wow.
Hey, wait.
Hey, let's go. We take it. With a 26, you kind of look around. There don't seem to be any obvious flickerings of dark lights around here. However, you do, as you kind of go to the edge of the bridge that you can just walk on, there seems to be a kind of like where it connects to the pillar, a carving of who you assume to be Artisan on the edge of it. You can see the very six-winged figure with the sword through the middle. Though the sword it's carrying in this depiction seems to be a bit different. It seems to have like an arc in the end instead of a circle and an arc on the back, as well as its guard. And it's just in its usual positions. Wings up, 2 in front of itself, and then 2 on the bottom. And that's the only new thing you get here. You can't really see the other bridge. It's not close enough to investigate. You would have to walk quite a bit to get down. But yeah, that's kind of the only hint you basically get.
Well, it's a good place to start.
So
Maybe try walking across this, and as long as you're within 120 feet, we can keep in touch.
okay. I'll slowly start walking across the bridge, and as I start walking, I keep looking back towards my friend, and then in the front, and then back towards my friend again, and then in the front, and then in the back, and in the front, and I just, like paranoid style.
Yeah. As you kind of take your first step onto the bridge, nothing happens. Doesn't seem to move. Take your second, third, fourth. You're like halfway there now, looking back and forth, kind of slowly making your way there. Getting an anxious feeling that in case it does move and you're somehow separated from them, you'd be alone in this weird dungeon, which is a terrifying thought. However, it never gets fulfilled, this fear that you're having, and until you get like 10 feet across towards where you can see, once again, the big wall that just leads into another hallway. But it just ends in darkness as usual. But the bridges still seem to be stationary and aren't moving. Do you go through, or do you wait on the bridge?
Alright. As soon as I get to this spot where I have to walk across, I'll look at my friends and I'll say, let's hope we can meet again quickly, and I'll cross over.
Oh gosh.
Okay, she crosses over. You step inside. You look back. Everything starts moving again, and the bridge gets taken away into the pillar. It seems to merge back.
For the second time in her life, Isarel feels utterly alone. The last time she felt this alone in her life was the first night that she stepped into the Servalon woods looking for evidence of Servalon, and that she realized she wasn't home anymore, and she wasn't, where she wasn't part of the noble society or anything, and that very same feeling just hits her right there as she sees everything just move, and her friends are over there, and she's like, I have no idea if I'm gonna see them again.
Yep, and the wall closes in front of you as it also shifts and twists, and Fiera and Eirik, everything moves as normal. However, now you are left with no bridges except for the staircase that leads up and the bowl in the middle, and everything has locked itself.
So just as the bridge disappeared, can I just use elementalism and beckon fire, and I'm just gonna create a little puff of glowing embers where her bridge was, so that when we turn, I can keep track of where that bridge was.
Okay, yes, very nice. Yeah. However, you realize one thing: as everything's turning, the bridge seems to be in a different layer than where the entrance is, because it's like at the very cusp of where the edge is. So her entrance is here and the bridge is here. So do you want to keep track of where the bridge is or where the entrance/exit was she entered, since they're both moving separately?
The entrance where she disappeared into.
All right. Yep, you just kind of concentrate on the flames in that direction, and as it all stops, you embers still flicker there where the doorway was.
Should we try to do it at the same time?
We could, yeah.
Go over to the bowl and get ready to. Yeah, we'll both, I guess, cut our thumbs.
All
3,
right.
2, 1.
Okay. And as you also cut, you put your finger there, and it's like, okay, and then you see the blood before you realize that you cut yourself. And once again, as both of your blood drops, and now even louder resonant sounds starts to pierce from the bowl as both blood drops seem to be simultaneously creating this song. As from two different sides, it's trickling down, and same, they both kind of come down, and but as they touch each other, as they kind of accumulate back to the bottom, they do merge, and there's now this big blob that just is dancing around in the middle, continuing the song, which lasts now even longer since there's more blood inside. Though, much like in the case of Isorel, after like about maybe 4 to 5 minutes, it starts to die down. And as it's dying down and it ends and silence greets the room again, you hear the as everything moves and shifts again. However, before that happens, we jump to Isorel. Isorel, you are standing in this dark hallway. You are at a dead end, it seems like, as the wall closed in front of you. And behind you, there's just, once again, another hallway that seems to be just going into the depths of blackness. Is there anything you do?
I'm gonna sit down, open up my pouch, get some incense, light it up, and start ritually find familiar.
All right.
She's just hotboxing.
Yeah, just
Yep. Yep.
goddamn, I gotta
Yep.
chill.
Yep. I'm getting my owl back. I have no idea how long it's gonna take. I don't remember how much time it took from me, so I was like, I'll just do a ritual. Instead of wasting a spell slot for this, I'll just ritual it and get my owl back. And I guess, no walking on me, just doing a ritual here, whatever. They know me.
Yeah. Yes, make a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom, you said?
Yep. Damn, 26.
It's my best saving throw, so.
You feel at first, as you're kind of producing, or focusing on this ritual, there's like a very cold sensation, like a cold needle that runs down your neck. This very sharp point that kind of carves its way through, and you kind of shudder a bit and get a bit of goosebumps as you kind of try to feel behind you what that sensation was, though nothing is there. And all you kind of then get is you feel this sudden gust of cold wind, and you can even feel that the incense kind of gets blown away and up. And as it does so, the smoke of your incense kind of for a very brief moment creates this upside down triangle before it just whiffs out and dissipates in the air. And there seems to be you presume, a very large space behind you that kind of created this gust of wind. And you just became aware of that. And you aren't quite sure what that trickle was. However, it seemed as though something was trying to not necessarily talk with you, but there was an inclination of communication. I will put it that way.
I'll turn my head towards that. Is my owl back, or did the ritual like?
No, it's still going. It's like,
okay.
It was like within 3 minutes of this happening.
Okay.
Yeah, you slowly turn your head around.
Yeah.
And as you do so, kind of look back towards the black hallway. Make a perception check.
I'm gonna give myself guidance on this because my perception is not the best. Yeah.
Ten. Yeah,
It's bad.
You look back and you don't see anything. And you just turn back around.
Yeah, I'll keep concentrating on my thing for now.
Mm-hmm. However, as you're continuing doing your ritual, the feeling that someone's just standing right behind you never quite leaves you. Before, after 5 minutes into your ritual, you hear the... Everything shifts, even for you. And in a brief moment, the door opens up again. And Fiera and Eric... Well, Fiera probably wouldn't see since it's a bit too far away. But Eric, you could... Well, actually, yes, the incense kind of burns a bit, so you do see a bit of flickering light from the incense that's currently being burnt in the doorway, and you can see Isorel just kind of sitting there.
Oh. Hello? Can you hear us?
As I keep getting my owl back. Give me a couple minutes.
Okay. But we don't have a bridge to her.
Oh yes, you do. Like everything repeats the same way.
Oh, okay, same thing. Okay,
yeah, same thing.
I'm running.
Okay, you're running. I can also make a perception check as you're running towards her. I'm assuming Fiora, you're just following behind. 11.
Yeah, I'm taking my time.
Yeah, you take a big whiff of the incense. You're like, familiar, good, feels like home. And you reach Isorel, who's still in the process, halfway through Find Familiar. And Fiora, you also slowly make your way over. And as you both cross the borderline, it once again shifts and the exit behind you closes.
Good God, we need to stop doing this.
Well, when she's finished, we can continue on.
And as you all wait there, 5 whole minutes for her to complete her ritual. So we're gonna take a break. Boop. And when the break ends, we will see a new owl, the companion of the Fate Weavers. Well, not a new owl, but you know, it just returns. Anyways, see you guys in a sec. Bye. And we're back. So, you guys are now together with a small owl that pops up. Looks very cute. Gives you an emotional boost once again, as is the passive aura feature of all cute animals. So your sanity score that I'm secretly tracking goes down by 0.5. However, you're now on this dark, basically one-way road. Where would you like to go? Or rather, what would you like to do?
When my friends get to me, I'll say, "How did it go?"
It seemed fine.
Good. While I was waiting for you, I was feeling observed.
See invisibility.
I tried to look beyond, but I was clearly busy doing my ritual for my owl. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can make a perception check.
With advantage?
No, this is just a normal one. Is that 11 or 25?
Oh, what?
Was the 11 for a perception check you rolled before? I can't remember. Or did you accidentally roll twice?
You
I don't
did that one.
think-
That one was before.
So at 25, it's
Oh, okay.
That one was before. That was when you were looking.
Oh yeah. When I told him, yeah.
With the whole
Oh,
that
right.
thing.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh man.
Yep.
I completely forgot.
Yep.
Yes,
I was
so-
like, I only saw
Yep.
one number roll.
Yep. No, it was before. It was before the break, which means forever ago.
You know, yeah, see invisibility, you put it on, trying to look for anything, and you know, there's always a very slight worry in your mind, Eirik, knowing you have this ability to be able to perceive something that is there but you can't see. But seeing the thing confirms that something was there. That's always scary. And you turn it on, and this very small worry that's at the back of your mind gets fulfilled as you just see someone standing about 15 feet away.
Hello.
You see it's very weird. You can definitely make out human features. There's like a cocked head, very long black hair that just goes across the face. Seem to be wearing like a sort of dress with like torn sleeves going off from the sides, but has a very big, like very long, big skirt that also kind of goes down and touches the floor with golden ornaments going across it. However, the more weird thing is that with a cocked head growing out of a neck, like almost in like a nice arc from a shoulder to a head, creates this half crescent moon, what seemed to be like black but golden rimmed vines or branches or roots that seem to be growing out of a neck. And in the middle, the roots kind of come together and there's and hold like a golden circle, while on the top of the exterior of the ring there's also a golden circle, and on the bottom as well. And as soon as you see them kind of just bow down, as they're bowing down, they just kind of disappear.
Okay, alright. Something was here.
Okay.
They're
I-
gone.
Don't know if I like that.
Eirik, I will actually show you what you saw.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Let me see. Here it is. Oh, and I forgot to describe. It also has one wing.
Hey.
Oh, cool.
Bless you. That's the person in my room.
The dungeon sneezed.
Oh, no, it was the individual you saw, Eirik.
Sneeze enough. Too
So-
embarrassed.
So if you go to
Where am I? Where?
your
yeah.
journal, there should be under
Yeah.
art.
So we had the mortuary
And
instead of the
Counters.
effigy.
Under art, I see.
Encounters, and it should be the one on the very top, above the gravekeepers.
The one wing ring girl.
Above the gravekeepers.
Do you
Oh,
see-
there. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Good impress.
He starts to analyze it.
Is it?
I mean, if she's gone, then we can continue forward.
Okay. Her eyes have a wrap around them. Fiera.
That I did that because things were bright and loud. Could be the same.
There, she had. What the hell is?
Okay, you have 10 more
A
seconds to look at it.
There's a oh no, there's a symbol hanging around her neck that looks like the downward facing cross that we see with the circle in the middle and the circles on the side, but there's an upside down moon hanging on the bottom. Yeah.
Okay, you have to close it now.
God damn it. That was creepy.
Okay. Let's keep walking then.
That's active for another hour, so if she appears again, I'll be able to see it.
We can follow you then. That's fine.
Goodness. Okay. Yeah. Let's walk in whatever direction we can walk.
As you are walking down, taking step by step, now you're kind of like actively, scanning for stuff. You can make another perception check as you're keeping an eye out. 20. There is something you notice as you're walking through here, Eirik, and only you can see it, Eirik, is occasionally, and you aren't quite sure if it's actually the spell or if it's the weird walls doing their thing, but sometimes you just see an eye within the wall that closes as soon as you see it.
Okay, we're being
And
watched.
That happens multiple times. You're walking, and then you see it, and it's staring directly at you, and it closes.
Are these like humanoid eyes, dragon eyes?
It seems humanoidish, maybe a little bit bigger sometimes. It's not on the faces that come out of the wall. It's just somewhere randomly within the stone, and as it closes, it just molds back into wherever it just came from. And parts of you, kind of has to justify that being hallucinations since it leaves no trace behind. But it happens rather often, which either confirms or denies it's a hallucination. So you are a bit unsure. However, after around 15 minutes, you aren't walking that much, you can see the room in a similar fashion expand again. However, you can see, similar to when you went into the Gravekeeper Sanctuary, there's a very light mist on the ground. Or I should rather say, unlike the Gravekeeper Sanctuary, there's only a light mist on the ground and not, covering the entire area. And there's this very nice, smooth, clean floor. There's no dust, rubble, or anything on it that just leads on. And you can just see the kind of darkness in front of you. of this large, expansive chamber, room, hall, courtyard, aren't quite sure, but just opens up. And you all can see in the distance floating just a bead of gold color.
Okay. That could mean we got to the effigy. Can I look around for individuals? Anybody but us, pretty much.
Yeah, can definitely make a perception check. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, makes sense. You go inside of here, and it seems to be a big room. You don't see much. You can see like the mist just moving around here. And you can also feel a very light gust of wind coming from the front, which actually you would have also noticed as you were slowly making your way through the hallway that there was like an occasional gust that comes through, similar to when you went to the ravine. That just, an open space that allows for a bit more airflow to pass through here. It seems similar, but there don't seem to be any obvious signs of any creature or anyone being inside of this room or close by.
I think we just need to go. All of this talk that we've been doing the last however many hours about, fate and faith and belief and all this, it's probably in our best interest to be more direct in our movements, direct in our choices. We have a big wide open space now with a thing at the end of the hallway. Let's just go to it. If there are indeed things watching us, they might be judging us. They might be collecting evidence or something against us. So if we just if we take our time and be too critical now at this point, I think it's going to be our downfall. I'm getting tired. I'm having trouble figuring out how we're even going to accomplish the goal we came down here for. So
I don't know how we'll do it, so we just have to have faith and keep going.
Okay. I'll begin walking toward the bead.
All right. Walking towards it slowly but surely. Arik, you have pretty good passive perception, and you are the first one to see it as the light kind of becomes a little bit more clear as you're getting closer to it. It starts to take a bit more shape, and you can see it's not a flame, it doesn't seem to be moving or anything. And instead, you can see floating up is a weird statue, you believe it is. And what's glowing is what seems to be this odd shaped sword. Not the artisan sign that you've seen before, but instead it's like one big hilt, but it gets covered by something, and then you can only see the tip, which has a big arc, and then the hilt, which seems to have like a circle in it, and then an arc on the very top, creating this top arc, and then this lower arc below, while the guard of the sword also has an arc. But as you kind of see it and recognize, and you can now start to see the shape of this seemingly floating statue of 6 wings, covered in eyes that don't seem to be moving, and they're not all looking at you. But as you become aware that this seems to be like a floating statue of Artisan, you can see that the sword itself is glowing quite strongly, and parts of the wings of the statue are also giving a faint illumination of like golden light, though it isn't illuminating its surrounding. It just gives this odd visual sensation to it. But as you come into view and you want to step closer, you notice that the fog stops, and you're like, oh, that's strange. And you notice it doesn't stop, it falls as you get to the edge of a room, and it's just emptiness in front of you, and this thing is floating in this emptiness there. And you all see basically this, just floating in this dark room with a bit of fog in the middle of nowhere.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
brother.
Oh my gosh.
That's unique.
Oh my gosh.
I see feet, legs, a hand.
Oh, there are feet. Ew. Good God.
And there's
Yeah, the
a
two wings are wrapped around it. Jeez.
There's an arm and 2 feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wings.
Did we talk to it?
Well, to be fair, you two made your prayer and made an oath by their name. So it might be best if you two speak to it.
How far are we from it?
It's funny enough hard to gauge. As you're looking at it, your focus seemed to be completely the statue, and you don't see any, optical distortion that usually happens when you look at something. And there's no reference since it's just floating in mid-air. So you would assume maybe like 500 feet or something like that. The statue.
Okay, so we're still quite a ways away from it. We're not like right up close to it or something.
Exactly, and
there's still like quite a
yeah.
way.
It seems to be a
Okay.
large statue.
In that case, I'll hold my staff of the woodlands in one hand, and with my other hand, I'll hold my thing that I have in my neck, my necklace. And I'll just walk in like maybe 2 or 3 paces in, but not much. Just enough to like break away from Fiera and Eirik. And I'll say I'll use thaumaturgy to kind of enhance my voice a little bit and make it louder, but not like menacing louder, just like I'm trying to amplify my voice basically. And I'll say, my name is Isarel. I came here to seal back the chamber.
Okay, your voice booms out. You're half expecting an echo if this is an enclosed chamber, but you don't hear one. Your voice just kind of dissipates into the emptiness. And you all wait for a moment in anticipation of a response. But you don't get one.
Again, this time without the thaumaturgy, but speaking very loudly, I'll say, can we approach you?
You say that. Once again, the voice fades into the vacuum that is in front of you. and you don't get a response. Still, it's floating above the seeming abyss that lays beneath it. And just as a reminder, you're at like an edge, at like a cliff, and it's like 500 feet away, and it's just emptiness.
Mm-hmm. I'll switch to Draconic and say maybe you don't want spoken language and more actions from us. That's it.
Still no response, it seems like. You can, however, make a straight wisdom roll.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
18. Still awaiting anything. Nothing changes.
I'm gonna pull out the paper with the translated prayer on it, and I'm gonna start reading the first paragraph in my head. I'm not gonna read it out loud. I'm gonna read it in my head to see if there's any recognition or something, be it like some mental connection.
Alright, are you saying this as in you're just reading it out, or are you saying it as it's kind of intended to, as like a prayer?
As a prayer. I'm reading it very deliberately, very just trying to connect to something. We need some sort of answer here.
Alright, yeah, as you are reading it, kind of with the intention for what this was meant, you kind of get to the second paragraph, or you finish the first paragraph. As you do so, you and only you notice that all of the eyes on the wing suddenly focus onto you.
Your favorite. Eric's favorite thing. Being seen.
Yeah. I surround the prayer. The prayer.
Alright. I'll take the paper out of his hands. And I'll tell him. I'll hold it like kind of in front of both of us, and I'll say, let's recite it together. Out loud. And I'll just kind of count us down 1, 2, 3, and we'll start.
Alright.
Do you follow me, Eric?
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
Okay.
There's 100 eyes looking at me. I'm freaking out.
Yeah, and just like Eric said, like I'm reading it as the prayer, as it is intended. I'm not just like reading it to read it. I'm pausing where it needs to pause and all that.
Alright, yes, you do that. And as soon as you finish the second paragraph, you both now see all eyes focused on you. So as well, you can, from your subjective point of view, you see all eyes are looking at you, and Eric similar to you, all eyes are looking at you. Do you continue reading?
Yes. I keep going. I kind of give a quick look at Eric. I kind of take my breath in, waiting to see if he's gonna follow, and then I'll keep going.
I gotta hold her hand.
Alright. Then, as you get to the end of your prayer and say Amen, both of you feel a touch on your shoulder. And you're half expecting it to be Fiera.
No, I'm not.
Half expecting.
I mean, Eirik is expecting Fiera. Greg knows better.
Yeah. Isra, you look to your side. Don't see anyone, just a sensation. Eirik, you look to your side. It's the woman again. Standing right next to you, holding a shoulder. And Fiera, you can see that behind them, this sudden golden glow emanates. However, it doesn't illuminate anything. And it comes in the form of the holy symbol that you've seen. The circle with the two sides.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of glows in, and then it kind of just swoops into both of their backs, almost like it's being burned inside to their body. And Eirik and Isra, you feel something like kind of enter deep within you. But it starts off as like a very cold burn, if you put something very, very cold to your back, but the temperature kind of suddenly increases, but then drops again, and it just becomes a searing pain for a brief moment. However, for some reason, Eirik, you aren't feeling that disturbed by the pain. You are just taking it in as a sudden, unexpected, unwavering faith that was built inside of you. And this very calming touch on your shoulder kind of gives you a almost religious intention to what you have just done here, beyond your own comprehension, that you are given a purpose that is beyond your own, almost as if you have made an oath that is bound to your vindications you have chosen to do. In a similar way to you, Isra, as well. And as the sensation of pain fades, though it's a good, it feels like a good pain, as if you've done something, when the price for the pain has been worth it 1,000 times. And you feel whatever goal you have inside of this dungeon has been fortified in this very moment. And you can see, as you look back, the lady that holds your shoulder just kind of bows down, and as it does so, it also disappears. The eyes, they don't seem to be looking at you anymore. Yes?
With my scene visibility, did I notice if there was a woman or any sort of creature or whatever next to Isorel?
Yes. There was
same thing, same exact figure.
Same exact. Well, like, it seems similar. If it's the exact same one, you aren't quite sure, but this seems similar. And
it appears that the same thing is happening to us.
Exactly. And after that, all returns back to normal. The statue didn't seem to have changed except for the eyes for that one instance. And you are both just standing there.
As far as I can tell, everything that we've done has been correct.
That is also the sensation that I have. It's weird.
Nothing has been given to
No, I don't feel like I've gained anything other than the knowledge that I feel certain of what we've done.
Actually, no. Isra, you would kind of get a sensation since it happened to you before. You feel blessed.
Oh.
It's a
sorry.
very... Oh. It's my...
Wait. Oh.
You were froze. I think you're good now.
Oh, okay.
Speaking and your face wasn't moving. I was
I realized that I was talking to myself.
Oh.
And then I just started looking, and all three of you were frozen in place, and I couldn't hear you.
Okay. I thought I was frozen.
All three of you were frozen, so I didn't hear anything that all three of you said. So that's why I just stopped talking and started looking, because I was like, "What is going on?"
Okay. Yeah. Well, I was just saying, since you mentioned that you weren't feeling anything, you would have. It's like you are blessed, and you know that when you receive a blessing from what you assume to be Servalon or whatever god you pray to, it like you don't have anything more, as in, you know, but there is a difference. There is a slight. It's more than just a feeling. I will put it that way.
That whatever our goal is here feels fortified.
Yeah, so that's basically what I was saying. Like, I don't feel like I've gained anything more than the certainty that what we're doing right now is correct.
Yeah.
Is what we are supposed to do.
I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna look at Fiera. Is she still there?
Yep, she still seems to be standing there.
Are there any weird creatures hovering around her?
You look back. No, doesn't seem so.
Well, seems like it was still worth coming here.
Oh, absolutely. Now we have to figure out what the next step is.
I assume back to the pillar and follow the other path.
Did your cat fart?
Yep. Yep.
Oh my god, wow.
Aw.
What
Right next to you, right on you.
Ew.
Yeah.
He's sleeping on me. He's sleeping on my
Oh.
lap, and I just felt his tail go like this on me, and then the smell just came up, and I was like, ooh, okay.
That was the blessing you received. Just from a different kind of god.
You are a stinky boy.
Jeez.
Yes, you are. You're a stinky boy.
No shame.
Yeah.
Absolutely none. Sorry, got distracted there.
Yeah, so where do you go? Do you just head back?
I guess it's the only way we can get go to, right? Oh, he's insulted. Goodbye.
It feels so strange that that's all we needed to do here is read the prayer again.
Well, you've done more than that. You've walked a path. It's watching. It knows your actions. It knows your words, your conviction.
Yeah.
It knows what you've gone through.
It also knows you're here and what you've gone through, and you're not taking part in what's happening here.
My faith is toward something else.
I am still wondering what this oath is going to do to me in the long term. Because we all know where my faith lies.
Well, one step at a time. And
Yeah.
for now, it will aid us on our way to Meldor. So, turn around and I'll start heading back the way we came.
Yep. And as you walk down back to where you came from, you make your way to the Pillar of Atonement. The only thing that anyone sees is Eirik as you kind of walking back towards. You can see now, almost appearing at the edge of your view, kind of flanking you almost, are these weird figures that you see. And they just bow down and disappear. And they reappear again, like a row of them are standing there. And they come into sight and then disappear, come into sight, disappear, come into sight. As you exit the room and walk down the hallway. And as you get to the end of that hallway, it seems like it has been opened again. And the bridge is there and you can immediately walk back to the pillar. However, there is one difference that you notice, is that as you step onto the pillar again, you hear that the bowl is making a sound. as if something has been put inside of it and is still moving.
Okay.
What?
Look around. Are there any new bridges open? Are there any people wandering around?
You look around. You can make a perception check.
Bound to run into somebody else eventually.
18. You're looking around the bridges and their how they're set up seem to be the exact same. There don't seem to be any people secretly hiding about, jumping about, or running across anything. Everything seems exactly the same, except for the bowl is making a noise. One thing you do notice is it is distinctively doing a very different tune than what it played when you put you guys' blood inside.
Maybe this is the next step to what we just did. Following the oath. Maybe there's something in the bowl. Maybe it's giving us something.
Yeah. I'll approach the bowl. I'll go see what's going on at the bowl.
Yeah, you go there, and as you look inside, you can see a necklace with beads kind of sewn into it. And you can see a total of, what's it, 1, 2, 3. I have to do the math.
400.
Years.
8. You can see 8 beads in total. And there seem to be 3 different types of beads. There seems to be one bead that is like greenly colored, and that exists 4 times. You can see one that is kind of somewhat orangish colored. That seems to be existing 3 times. Then you can see one that is this very golden color. That seems to be there 1 time.
I'll slowly grab it.
Alright, kind of reach inside and take it out. And as soon as you take it out, the bowl stops making a sound. Makes like one last reverberating sound, but it kind of fades as you pick it up.
Eric, do you have your identify thing, or did you switch it out?
I've had that switched out for a while.
Okay, no, I was just wondering.
I can look at it. It will just take 10 minutes. We can maybe do while we walk, or wait for a bridge.
Well, from here, where do we go?
Presumably, we have to get our way down to that other bridge.
And how do we get down there? I'm not too keen on just jumping down to the bridge.
I mean, we can walk our way back down and see if we can intersect with it.
That's true. Yeah.
Could also do an alternative and just present blood to the disc again and just make it known we want to head toward Melador. Have some faith.
Yeah. It doesn't cost anything to try something. I'll look at my thumb. I'll hand out the necklace to Fiera and say, just start looking at it. I'll try something. I'll look at my thumb and start actively thinking of Meladorn and how to get to Melador's chamber and prick my thumb on it. And try to overwhelm my brain with all I'm thinking about is Melador. How do I get to Melador? And almost fanatic, like frantic, fanatic. Like I'm starting to think, and I'm trying to force myself to sound as almost crazy as I can as I do that.
All right. Yeah, you do that, and once again, the bowl starts to sing as I go out of focus. And it will sing the same way it did before. And after 2 minutes, approximately, it becomes silent again. However, this time nothing changes. The pillars don't start spinning, the bridges don't start moving, and everything just stays stationary.
Did her blood disappear the same way though?
Yep.
It either did not work or we already are on the current path to it. Those
We
are
just
the
gotta
two
walk.
options. Yeah, we'll just start walking. I'll present my arm to Fiera and say, if you don't mind, I'll help you while you're looking at it. I'll help you walk forward so we don't lose you.
Right. Yeah, I will identify as we walk then.
Yep, and I'll just kind of hold her by the, by the arm slowly, just making sure that, we have a visual of her and she doesn't, bump her head on something or
Yeah.
forget to turn when we're turning or something like that. Just making sure she follows.
Yeah. And with that, you cannot go to the edge, try and find where the staircase is, and you do eventually. And you just start heading down towards the lower layer of where you saw the bridge. And, carefully stepping down and guiding Fiera, you do eventually make it there. And you walk out towards where the next room lies. And as you kind of cross through the entrance, it doesn't lead to a very narrow hallway as you have done now twice before, but instead the normal halls that you're now accustomed to when you once first entered the dungeon re-emerge again, that are 10 feet apart, still same kind of body structure. However, as you walk 30 feet in, you notice there's a corner that immediately appears that kind of leads into a different room, and then a T-section a little bit further then, and you notice the dungeon continues from here on out. However, I will say, just walking for a bit, the 10 minutes do pass, and Fiera, you do identify this necklace. And it's a prayer beads necklace. And it comes with different beads, and you have gotten 3 different beads. You have 1 summon bead, 4 curing beads, and 3 blessing beads. And if you just look up the magical item, it will tell you what those means. Basically, with the curing...
1 summon, 4 cure, and 3 bless.
Exactly. And what that means to the viewers, I'll just explain. With 1 curing bead, you can cast Cure Wounds at level 2 for free. With Blessing, you can cast Bless once. And with Summons, you can summon a Planar Ally, which is a 6th level spell. And they reset after dawn. So you can perpetually cast these spells as long as you have the necklace.
It requires attunement by a cleric, druid, or paladin.
Yep.
Damn, 2 of those.
And as an added note, which I can say now, Eirik and Iso, you both have received the Darklight Blessing. So as long as you're within this chamber, you basically have perpetually have the Bless spell casted onto you. So you will always add a D4 to your saving throws and attack rolls.
You said in this chamber?
No,
Or
in this
dungeon.
Dungeon.
In this dungeon. Oh,
That's worth it. That's really worth it.
that was worth it. Okay.
Well, I will give you the necklace, and let you know what the beads do. The one summon for curing 3 bless.
Okay.
And just
You
mention
know,
you have to spend time with it.
I do need to let the staff charge, so I'll put it on my back and unattune from this one.
Probably have to take a short rest to be able to do that, but
Mhm.
you know.
Can I do that while we walk? Or is that too complicated?
I think walking is.
I'm just asking.
If you were in a safer environment, I would allow. However, in this dungeon,
Okay.
Yeah.
And
We'll
short
take a
rests
rest
are 10
eventually.
minutes.
15 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Yeah, of course
15
I'll-
minutes. Okay. I still have some dice. I still have all my health. It's not time to take a short rest just yet. All right, let's just keep going for now.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'll add that thing to my inventory. You said it was a prayer bead necklace?
Yeah, I think it's just called prayer beads. The magic.
Necklace of prayer beads or necklace of player beads.
Yeah, there's a
Prayer
legacy and a new
Yeah,
one. As soon
the
as
new one. Okay. I'll add the new one.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's definitely going to Jade when she's back, though.
It's like play ring toss. When she appears, just here, wear it.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's a really cool thing. It's a really cool object, and I do feel like it's gonna help her a lot. I have other things. I have my staff that has a lot of things, so
If
I
she
just feel
can
like
attune to it,
yeah.
it might be God specific or deity specific.
There's that. We'll have to see, but I'm definitely planning, letting you know right away. Like, I'm planning on letting her have it. Because I have too many items to to attune to, and not enough attunement slots.
The magic item goes.
Is there?
Yep.
Isn't there a feat that increases it now? One of the new feats?
There is one new feat. I just don't have it.
But wasn't that from the new book from
I think
Matt?
so.
Was-
Oh, is that what I'm thinking of?
I think so, because I forgot what it was, but I also heard it, and then I thought it was from the Taldori campaign guide, where that astral dragon is on the front cover. Am I crazy? Or the one where the blood mage also is inside of that book.
Could be.
I don't know if that's Taldori. Yeah, it is Taldori, because Taldori came after Wildmount. It's the newest one. Yes. Then
Yep.
if it is in one of Matt's books, it would be that one. But yeah.
I feel like it would be. Because it's not in the regular ones. I believe.
No, that is.
Oops.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
you're right. Mystic conflicts.
Yes, look at my brain. Able to
Wow.
remember something. Amazing. Yeah, but I think I have that book, right? Do I? I got no idea. I don't remember whether or not I purchased that.
But yeah,
book.
anyways.
Yeah. Anyways.
I apparently cannot see whatever is in Taldori.
Okay, then I don't have it. Well, just
But
multiclass Artificer.
whatever.
And then you get to-
Whatever.
So, continuing on, this, of course, you are once again within the dungeon. So it now requires your skill challenges to navigate through in order to get to the next room.
Oh boy, I've been good at this. Okay, so the goal is to get to the Death Ward Mortuary. I am shocked we still haven't found Roderick. Or any sign of anyone. I guess we could have missed him.
We might never see him.
Yeah, there's
That's true.
loads of places that he could have just been hiding.
Or there's stuff off the map too.
Yeah, exactly.
I would love to look for if we had more time.
Maybe when we come back.
Sure. Next vacation.
No, but I mean, like, we'll get to Meladorn, we'll seal him back into his chamber, and then we have to walk back, and then we don't really have we have to be back time. There's
take a nap.
well, we have to take a nap, but we can find an alcove and take a nap in an alcove and be fine.
But
and-
our thing is gonna run out. Our time, like,
Yeah, that's what I mean. We'll have to sleep. We don't die because we have to take a sleep.
no, but I thought the whole point was that we had to get out of here before that took place.
Not necessarily. It just
I
means
think
we'll
we can.
drop
I
asleep.
don't think it's like a set timer. I think it's just whenever we take our next long rest is when we get knocked out.
No. After 24 hours, we get knocked out.
That's why we're keeping track of the hours here.
I'm just doing that to keep track of how long we've been in here. But
Well, it's good that you've been doing that, but it's
It's
because
After 24 hours, we need to sleep. But we can sleep in the dungeon.
yeah, for sure. Okay.
It was not said at any time that we had to be out of the dungeon before the blessing was over.
It's
It
just-
just said
Safer.
once the blessing is over, y'all need to sleep. You'll fall asleep.
Yep. Okay. Well, I can start us off. I think I would like to do a religion check. Essentially, I'm going to take this place in as a holy place. I've seen celestial plaques and so many things about Arsacian and other god stuff. I'm just going to look for signs that lead us toward the mortuary, or see if I can even find anything that can help us get there. That is religious or celestial or
Yep. I'll allow that. Religion check.
Ooh.
Ooh,
I think I found something.
damn. Yeah. Yes. You've noticed so far going through here there are a lot of murals and carvings, and that's quite regular even in modern Holy Religions Church. There are a lot of depictions, and often they serve to, showcase where you are, what's happening, or just in general stories, and they're a good way to gauge where you are or where you need to go. Though you also know that's not always the most reliable way to, look for things. However, most holy chambers are built in a very similar way. Even though this is a very abstract dungeon, just with your experience of, as an archaeologist, you can make just very good educational decisions based on things you have learned of things that you see here. So often when there's smaller chambers or smaller hallways, often lead into places that, aren't as important or to more specific areas. And as you see depictions of like, one specific mural catches your attention, which is a depiction of what seems to be like a lot of people who seem to be somewhat offering themselves, as in like they have their hands in their back and their heads held high, almost like in in a way to let themselves be taken. And then you can see these weird, somewhat large bell-shaped things that are on wheels that seem to be taking them in, like almost like hugging them. And you aren't quite sure what that's depicting that is completely strange and alien to anything you know, but all of these weird mechanisms or things that are taking these people in seem to be coming from, or the mules are always depicted as if they're coming from a specific end, which gives you the hint that you might potentially want to go down that road if you want to encounter whatever that is. And you can see that behind them, they seem to be rolling away. And then there's like a depiction of what you assume to be a mortuary, where there are like different like coffins or sarcophaguses where these people are being laid inside of. Yeah, I don't know how to say the plural of either of those. And
You had the same trouble I had earlier.
yeah, and that's kind of your first indicator to walk down there, and you follow this path quite a while, and you even read at some point a sign that specifically says Deathwood Mortuary, and there's a small arrow that points that way that you walk down there. And you walk quite in a decent pace. I would say only half an hour goes by with a roll that high. However, you don't quite reach your destination. It is 4 o'clock, by the way, for
Oh boy.
the time trackers.
Okay. This way.
How do you wish to proceed?
Uh, I'll use my owl as well as my own knowledge of surviving through like different things. Like I'll just tap into my back when I was in the woods looking for something that felt like a needle in a haystack, which is basically what's happening here. There's like so many rooms everywhere and all that, and we're trying to get into this one place. And I'll basically use my survival instincts, helped with my owl's eyes that are looking around, to try to decipher, like, okay, these are definitely like side corridors that lead to maybe something interesting, but not necessarily like this big mortuary thing, like the same way that I would be looking for, I don't know, water and signs of like there's a river this way or something like that, and try to use that instinct, that survival instinct, to keep going in the correct direction, and with what I can hear from Fiera's indications of where to go, and yeah, just kind of build off of her and use that survival instinct.
Yes, definitely. You can make a survival check. I assume you want to use survival.
I want to use survival.
Yep.
I'm gonna... Oh, can I guidance in this case? Or because it's a skill challenge, is it different?
Yeah, it's different for a skill challenge.
It's different. Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted. I thought that was correct. Yeah, okay, just wanted to make sure. It was almost good.
15 is alright.
It was it was almost a 20 though.
Oh, yeah, that would have been better.
Yeah, it was almost a natural 20. It was wobbling between the two.
Okay. Then, yeah, you're kind of walking around and you're trusting your instincts, trying to gauge through just educated guesses and, you know, just a hunch feeling that has definitely supported you before, especially during times where you were lost in an area that you are not accustomed to, that you know nothing about, like when you went to the Servalon Great Woods. And as you're going through, sometimes, occasionally, as you walk by a corridor, you just hear a slight chime or a choir song, and you just kind of stop and you need to group back. And there's almost always where there's a decision between going to the front or to the right, or when there's a T section. And part of your instinct is, you know, you've been blessed now in one way. Maybe this is a sign that's trying to guide you towards the right direction, so you start following it. And it's not until after a while you aren't quite sure where you are, though you're never quite sure where you are. You can roll me 1d4. Oh. You get so lost that you just increased the amount of successes you needed by 4, as this voice led you astray into a completely different area.
Yeah, that's gonna take some time.
And I would say that will take another half an hour out of you, as you just aimlessly following this voice for a while before one of you mentions or notices you have not seen any mules in a while, and you've been gone for a while.
All right, I'm tapping out. Someone else take the lead.
Okay. I'll just to hopefully get us back on track. I guess I'll use. Can I use investigation to sort of retrace our steps, follow, you know, looking at our footsteps, seeing the tracks of dirt that we've rustled, just to sort of get us back to a more familiar location?
Of course. Investigation check it is. 28. Wow. Seems like Fiera. Indeed. And luckily, for some reason, maybe it was your paranoia, but you just had this suspicion that something might happen. And as you were kind of, you know, when this uncertainty arose, you were like, okay, just to have like a reference, or in case you do go astray, you started doing your tactic of leaving a trail behind, which you just kind of did instinctively. And now you notice, oh yes, this is coming in handy, and you can follow that back for quite a while, and you find your way back onto a path where you can see familiar things that you have already passed by, of where you left, you know, the bits and pieces that you know, either druid crafted or you kind of just elementally crafted as well. So you managed to trace back quite a bit of the path you accidentally took in the wrong direction.
Sorry.
That's fine. That's okay. That's okay.
It's not. But thank you.
Yikes.
I guess I can try persuasion. I think what I'll do is kind of to help us back on the right trails, kind of do like a grid search. While they're both within 120 feet of me. I'll use message to kind of keep tabs of what they find, where their route goes, and then we can kind of pick the best one between all of us, move on, same thing, check 3 areas, communicate what the best would be, and so on and so forth.
Heck yeah. Yeah, no persuasion for that. Damn. The great way.
16.
A 16 as you're walking back. You try to keep tabs of them, and it's a bit difficult just because how tense everybody is to kind of go through the area. And as you kind of try to keep everyone on tabs, and you have to also communicate to the other people on the other side that what the other people have found. And there's brief moments of panic occasionally that happens either from Irik's side as he sees something spooky, and you do occasionally encounter sentinels walking down hallways, which you immediately try to stay away from. However, once again, you manage to coordinate the group good enough to the point where you feel like you have managed to bring them back to where you were before on track, and you can start seeing more of the mortuary murals once again, suggesting that you might be getting closer to there.
Okay.
I hate trying to be creative.
I hate it too, and I'm like,
There's so little things to do.
yeah.
Are either of you good at stealth? Are any of us?
Surprisingly, yes.
Really?
Yeah, I've got a +6 to stealth.
Listen. I think because I have two things I want to try. I'm gonna go with the first, which I think is the most creative of the two. I want to use Arcana to help us to help guide us and try to feel when there are sentinels, to kind of lead us away from them, and just kind of use like my knowledge of how the weave works and all that, and try to help out as we look for these murals. When would be the next possible way? And okay, this leads this way, but do I feel like we're gonna end up with some sentinels? Maybe we should go this way, and try to use my knowledge of magic and the way we can use magic to set up traps and stuff to discourage people to move around, and yeah, basically trying to tap into the more magical side of Israel.
Yeah, I can definitely do that.
Please roll above a 10. Thank you.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah, surprisingly, and probably also tapping into a bit of the the new blessing you've received. You are kind of focusing on maybe the whisper was obviously not helping you, and it seems like there's still mechanisms inside of these dungeons that are very much so antagonistic to your approach, and it just seems to be the nature of it that has been designed to do so, and it won't change whether or not you are part of the organization or not. However, no reason not to believe that you might have a guiding voice or some sort of higher power that is trying to guide you through here. As much as you understood, even though you're in a server on Great Words, you still encounter dangers, but that's not a reason to stop looking for signs that are trying to help you. And so you kind of follow that direction. Specifically, the one hint you've gotten is that whenever you see dark light, that's usually a good sign. And so you're trying to keep your eye out for any dark light that you might encounter. And occasionally you do, and you feel kind of the presence of magic around here that's very different from the Servant Great Woods. But now that you've kind of gotten this attunement towards dark light, you can feel it. And sometimes you do feel the presence of marching things, constructs. And as you kind of turn around, you see like a group of 4 draconic sentinels just kind of walking down the hallway. And there's a new awoken instinct inside of you that has allowed you to see them and able to dodge them. And that is a success as you safely make your way further down, getting closer to the mortuary. But not quite there yet.
Oh man. I wish I had more stuff.
How many more successes do we need? Like 1, 2, 3?
You guys don't know.
Couple.
You don't know how far it is.
It was 4 more than we already needed. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and how many
guys.
do we have right now? We have 1, 2, 3. We have 4, I think.
Yes.
I think we're missing still like 2
So we
or
have
3.
need either like 1 or 2, maybe 3, if it's really far.
Yeah.
And every failure is some sort of negative that could happen. Okay.
I'm gonna.
I guess we're
Okay.
using spells.
Oh no! Don't do that. I'm gonna presume like over this time that we're kind of like walking, there's gonna be a few moments where we kind of just like stop and breathe and recalibrate and everything.
Mm.
In those little short moments that we stop, I'm gonna take out my sketchbook, and I'm going to begin drawing the mysterious figure that I saw. And over this time that we're sort of walking, I'm gonna use religion, and I'm gonna try to tap into the new sort of blessing or blessed state that we seem to have found ourselves in, and ask in my head to whatever is out there, to Artisan. I appreciate that what you've done so far has not been, not been so much of a. I appreciate what you've done has helped us. I appreciate what you've done so far has helped. This is all in my head too, so I'm just like drawing and kind of like freaking out. I appreciate what you've done so far has seemed to have helped us. I'm still very much new and confused about following certain paths. If you could give us more if you could help us as we walk to make us as a group feel more together, because I have a feeling there's a little bit of distance forming between us, and I want all of us together to feel as one again. So I'm beginning a very poor attempt at some sort of like prayer, reaching out to something, just to feel more at ease and comfortable as a group.
Yeah, I mean, damn, that's one hell of a creative way to use religion. Yeah, I don't know that. Definitely not what I was expecting where you were going, but yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Dang! It's good.
That is good.
Eric, wow.
You know what this is? This is the pinnacle, my friend Eric, of faith that you've just shown here. And it has worked the hell out. Where you were somewhat right. You're realizing you have been overthinking this entire thing all the time. You get into a new room, you're panicking, you're overanalyzing, you're wasting time, which is making you panic more and overanalyze more. And that has been an endless spiral that's been continuing for your entire life. And there was no end to it. It was just an ever-growing snowball, and you knew at some point there will be an end. And when that snowball crashes, it will take down anything that it hits. And you were like, but what if the snowball could fly? Just fly away, disappear. And you found the wings that you could give this snowball. This crazy metaphor I'm going on right now. But yeah, faith. And you have now somewhat physically, or magically rather, received a genuine blessing that has kind of rewarded your faith, that has confirmed and encouraged you to continue to do that. And while you're doing this prayer, while you're drawing it out, it gives you this very calming and soothing effect that you hadn't had in a long time, especially not in a stressful and very pressured environment that you are within now. Your life is in danger. You have a very, very short time limit, and the task you're doing seems impossible. These are 3 ripe conditions for Eric to completely lose his mind. But you have found a loophole, and that is, as long as you trust, as long as you believe in anything, and actually receive some sort of confirmation that it's actually genuine and useful, so that the pragmatic part of your anxiety can also be satiated. That's all you need, and that's what you got. And so just by doing this, you calm down, and you manage with that effort, as Fiera and Iso realize that Eirik is rather calm in this very stressful situation. It also makes you a bit calmer, because Eirik is the one that usually is the one panicking around. So if he's not panicking, you two aren't allowed to panic. It's kind of what goes through your mind. You're like, hell no. Though I don't expect Fiera to be panicking, but it does kind of boost your confidence as well. Just seeing that kind of...
It's nice to see him doing
even
better.
even in the most panicky times, I've never seen Fiera panic, so I would not expect her to panic.
Yeah, especially now. But yeah, it still gives a very nice feeling. Just, you know, if you see someone of your friends just kind of grow, it's a similar feeling. That kind of makes you all focus, kind of makes you reevaluate, that gives you confidence. You can do this, and you do this. As you get back to the point you were before, that Fiera led you to, You can see the sign of the mortuary pointing in a direction. You aren't quite there yet, but you seem and have the feeling you must be quite close.
All right, I think I can finish this off. Hopefully.
Yeah.
You explained that a
Something.
lot better than I did, by the way, Jack. Like you
That was really good.
Kind of my job here, but you had a very good idea. I really like that.
Yeah. So I'll use Arcana. Don't think I've used it this way before. So 3 of us are magic casters. We have magic items. I think it's time to start kind of using them in a wizard way, as I will start like using the movable rod as like a ladder to get up, or like to help keep something, like a door open or things like that. Eric has his boots. I'll have him like fly up for a few seconds to like bring a rope up to help that, and then we all have a variety of cantrips. So I'll start, trying to guide people into how to use them better, to travel, to distract, to keep quiet. Just use all of our magic capabilities without really expending much to like limit travel.
Which skill do you want to use?
Arcana.
Very well, I allow that. Tactical and magical ingenuity at its finest. That's a 20. And as you do so, you use
Plus
all...
13?
That's the new wizard. They have expertise.
Yep. And you walk through the last steps and overcome some of the hurdles. You recognize one of the traps you've been to before, and you can use all of the equipment you have to kind of bypass it. Have Eirik kind of scout ahead or go over the larger layers that you have to go over, and using, like you said, the cantrips to either guide your way just in case you do get lost, or kind of light up an area and stuff like that. Minor things that do big differences while within this dungeon. And indeed, after, this entire endeavor will have taken another half an hour, bringing you at 5 o'clock. As you start to see to the left, you pass the room by, and as you look inside, Eirik, you notice that there are sarcophagi? What's the sarcophagi?
That one, sarcophagi.
Sarcophagi.
Oh boy. What are those?
Inside of the room, stone ones that seem to be rising from the floor that are closed. And as you go across to a different room that's also somewhat filled with these stone sarcophagi, and you assume you have reached the mortuary. However, as soon as you get there, around the corner, especially you, Eirik, you notice you hear a sound, and it's the first time you're hearing the sound. It's a very strange sound that you would put to or connect with, well, the best I can say is a cart, wheels turning, kind of like a bit of, wood to wood and metal to metal squeaking, and you just hear this as something's like kind of wheeling its way through the corridor that is beyond your sight at the moment.
It sounds like something is either in there, or someone is in there, or there's a machine or something that's working.
Yeah. I would like to believe that it's Roderick just walking with his cart. But
How he got a cart around this place is beyond me.
I don't know if he has one, but I want to believe he has one, and it's him, and we're just gonna be like, hey, Roderick, hey, good to see you. Okay, let's go, bye. I feel like that's not what's gonna happen.
Can we do the like quick message thing and see if it's him? Like we got his physical description. Can like
I can't do a long range one. He'd have to be.
Yeah, me either. He has to be 120 feet away. Well, whatever is in front of us needs to be 120 feet away.
And I don't know if he'd be wheeling around a cart in the mortuary.
I'll send my owl. How about that? Doesn't cost a thing.
there we go.
All right.
It's gotten us this far.
Yep, I'll send my owl. I'll kind of hold on to Fiera and Eirik and revert my eyes into the owl and just try to go and investigate what's going on and try to find the source of the noise with my owl.
Alrighty. Yeah, you send in the owl. Can make a perception check for the owl.
Oh, they changed the the sheets for them.
I mean, yeah. Wow.
No, but it was I mean, it was the new sheets with the new rules like did not allow you to roll anymore in the sheet. And now they've redone it again.
Oh.
And I can use it again.
Also, the sheet looks different and is like
The sheet looks different. Yeah, the
okay,
sheet
okay,
looks different.
probably
yeah.
preparing for the new monster manual that's gonna come out soon.
But I don't see shit. Yeah, I don't.
Um,
At all.
Less than that, your owl flies in, and then you hear through the owl the. And then the owl disappears, and you notice something got your owl, but it was so fast you had no idea what it was.
Ooh.
Okay, owl is down.
So whatever in there is, it's probably not friendly.
Or not expecting an owl here.
But
Either way, we
owl
are
on
now.
site.
They've made us now. Whatever's in there.
Right, so we need to distract, we need to hide, and then we need to move.
Or
We
we
need
just
to know what's in there before we do
we
any
need-
of that. That's the
yeah, we just need to start walking and be ready to anything, basically.
We have the basic description of Roderick, so if we turn the corner and we see anything that looks human with gray-black hair, 5'8" tall, wearing robes, we know it's him. Or not him, whatever I
Possibly
said.
him.
Yeah.
All right, there's no time to wonder. We need to we have to start to have faith.
Well, where do we want to go next? We want to go to the Drake board gate or the grafting display? Once-
Drake ward gates makes me feel like there's going to be draconic stuff.
Yes.
Grafting display feels like there's going to be body parts hanging out around. I personally would feel better with mentally. I would feel better with draconic entities rather than just seeing like possibly body parts everywhere.
Well, so the sentinels we ran into were they had like this draconic descriptions and they didn't speak, they just attacked. It could be very similar once we get to the gate. We find something we have to either fight or outrun.
That is my thought.
I have my full capabilities now.
I'm feeling better at our chances. So yeah.
Yeah, grafting is just a big unknown. I feel like Is it plants? Is it people? Is it undead?
I don't know,
Or
and
is
I
it
don't
something
want
we
to.
can't comprehend?
Great Ward Gate is also closer by the map, so
Well, I mean, I don't think it is to scale.
it might not be to scale, but it's the pretty big difference between the Drake Gate and the grafting display. So I'm going to assume someone did their research, made the map
Okay.
close enough.
So we all agree that the Drakeward Gate is our best chance,
Yes.
or we're most comfortable with.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's try to make it through
Alright.
the mortuary then, and keep an eye open.
Let's go.
All right. Are you guys trying to be stealthy?
What's the point?
I'm not trying
We
to
might
be
as well
stealthy.
try.
Well, if we
Yeah.
roll like a 1, that might like
Wait.
double the amount of people chasing us.
Wait.
I feel like there should be a way to make a distraction.
Staff of the Woodland comes out. I shake it around and cast Pass Without Trace with it.
There she is.
Ah,
Oh, do you have enough charges?
that is a wonderful spell.
I have 4 or 5 I have 4 charges on it, and it costs 2.
All right. Okay. Oh yeah, you regained last time.
Yeah, I regained some. So I have to take away 2 charges. Boop boop.
Oh, I'm gone. How my tactic? See if it works. Ah, almost. Come on. Okay. All right, you guys have passed without a trace on now. So a +10 to your stealth checks. Oh. Oh. That goes. Man, it works. Woo! Amazing.
Stealth. Pass without trace. +10.
And by the way, group stealth checks or like group activities, obviously I will take the average of everyone. So, you know, you'll get the... Just because someone does bad doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. Wow! That's a pretty good spread. That's a 23, 28, and a 30. So, as you silently, with the cover... Yeah.
Hold on. I did have enough, but I have to roll a d20 now.
Really? I thought that...
'Cause No, I have to roll a d20 from my thing, because if I roll a nat 1, my woodland staff breaks.
Wait, but I thought you had 4 charges and you only used 2.
No, I had 2.
Oh, okay.
I had 2 charges. I miscalculated. I had to. So let's just hope I don't have a 20. Let's just hope I don't have a 1.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm good.
Alright.
My
Maybe-
staff survived. Okay, let's go. Okay.
Be crazy if you got 1 then.
Listen.
I know.
It is my storyline that I will roll ones when I need to not roll them.
Yes, you guys silently approach the kind of hallway where you hear this weird sound from, and you can see that there's a doorway specifically leading to the ongoing hallway beyond you. And you can see there are like a couple of stairs, you know, nothing too unfamiliar, but you pass by some of the sarcophagi and you hear this wheeling sound become a little bit louder, so you all pause. You hide behind like a corner of the entranceway as the wheeling sound becomes louder and louder. And now that you're a little bit closer, it sounds a bit heftier. Definitely like almost like old rusted metal is like being moved. In fact, it reminds you a bit, Eirik, of your time back in Yeshimon when you used to carry heavy metal things when you were constructing the machines there. And it's very similar to that, where it's definitely something very, very heavy on wheels is being rolled here, and the sound becomes louder and louder. This and it seems like it's not the smoothest ride, and then suddenly just coming past the corner, this very strange thing appears, and it is in every way strange, as you saw these weird things that were like engraved in the wall. It is bell-shaped. Its main body is bell-shaped. It's the best way I can describe.
I thought you were saying bell, and I was like, what the fuck?
Well, it is a bell.
No, but the bell.
Oh,
like...
no.
Belle the princess?
No.
No, I think it means the one of the devil gods.
Yeah.
Oh. Let's
No.
hope he's not here.
I went Disney on my.
You hesitated just long enough saying the word bell that I was like, bell?
No, just like a big church bell. Like it, and in fact, as you look at it and more of it comes into view, it seems like multiple church bells that have been placed on top and or over each other. But on the side, you can see metallic arms come out and then kind of come to the front that hold two handles. There seems to be a seam going through the middle. There seems to be, on top of the bell, a humanoidish person, or more like the statue of one that seems to have two hands, like in prayer, and it's facing upwards. It is adorned in like this cloth, similar to the gravekeepers. Coming out of its neck, all around above itself, is the symbol of Artisan, while there's a lot of golden embroidery around, almost reminding you of the Holy Religios symbol.
Okay. Good guy.
And you can see 6 wheels that is carrying it. Only 4 of the wheels are actually touching the ground. And you know what? I'm not going to describe this any further. It's too weird to describe. I'm just going to show you what you see that comes rolling by.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Oh.
I love it so much.
Oh, this is cool.
As this thing
It is very cool. I have no idea what that purpose
Oh,
of
I
it
hate
is.
it, but I love it. But I hate it.
It looks like it has arms that open up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing that you get into. Something might be inside driving this.
We don't get in there. Oh, what's those things? Those metal things, and then like you poke it full of holes.
Iron Maiden.
Yes, there you go.
Fuck.
That is insane.
A mortuary. A mortuary is like a graveyard, right?
Mm-hmm. And as you see that kind of...
Like,
A
where-
mortuary is like a morbid chamber, like where you'll embalm and
Where you
store
prepare
bodies.
the dead. and
Yeah, you
store-
prepare the deads in that. At least that's the origin of the word. I don't know in this case what it means, but that's the origin of the word.
And it's quite big. It is like about like the tip of, the very tip of it is like almost like 13 to 14 feet high, and it's quite wide. So it is taking up the entire hallway as it's kind of rolling down. And as it comes to the corner, it comes all the way to the entrance of where you are, and you are just fucking dead behind the wall. You ain't moving as it comes to... And as starts to then turn. You can see these heavy wheels as it then turns in place, almost like a tank. And it starts driving back.
Like mortician.
And that's where we're gonna end today's session.
Oh my gosh.
To see what you guys are gonna do.
Holy crap.
How much do you want to bet your owl was just swallowed?
Oh, for sure. Either that or like next session, like it's gonna open and Jade is just gonna pop out like, "Hey guys, I'm here."
That'd be great.
Where have you
Nah.
been?
Where have you been? I've been chilling in this mortuary.
Yeah. No, I think my owl got snapped or zapped by this thing. Yeah.
I mean,
Oh.
made some good progress.
We did.
No resources were expended, and in fact, you received the blessing. I'd say that was a great success.
And I did not break my staff by accident because I miscalculated.
Yeah.
Good.
I remembered it backwards and I thought I had 4 charges left, but I had used 4 charges.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, encountered a new thing, saw a crazy statue, and you're getting closer. Actually, I should put.
Yeah.
Are you now at the Deathwood Mortuary? So only potentially going the fastest route. 2. Well, let's kind of do it. The Deathwood Mortuary. 3 more chambers to get through. In order to get to Matador's
6
chamber.
hours.
Oh my god.
6 hours time limit is what
Pretty
we
close.
Oh
have.
man.
We will
We
see.
just run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's just bypass it.
Well, run. I think we'll have to use the stealth I have provided to
Yeah.
slither away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we
Oh, shit.
will say goodbye for now. Keep my eye out for the next episode. 88. Wow. 88 doing 12 more episodes. And only potentially 12 more episodes for them to get to level 13 and us to 100. And maybe a special intro for, I hope, the next chapter that will start if you manage to do this. Who knows?
I will put this out there. My lucky number in life is 8. So the fact that it's double 8, I am crossing my fingers it plays in our favor.
There you go.
Me too.
It-
I think
Because then I
can't
would
wait.
be
We're headed
sad.
toward. I think we're headed toward like 2 big fights potentially.
Yeah.
At the gate, and then probably at the chamber.
We'll see what awaits them there. Let this please not be the end of these heroic troop. Please like and subscribe if you have enjoyed it this far. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye!